among them. Ameen. Alhamdulillah, we are all here and we're physically well. And today's topic is related to health and disability. But before that, to give you a little bit of insight into the topic, Al-Falah Center is where we are right now, is under ICNA Edmonton. And ICNA Edmonton is under ICNA Canada. So all across the country, masajid with ICNA and with other mainstream masjid organizations are speaking about this campaign to raise awareness on the importance of being kind, accommodating, and embracing and assisting those with disabilities within Canada and beyond. So that's our topic today. When Allah speaks about those that are disabled, Allah mentions ليس على الأعمى حرج ولا على المريض حرج ليس على الأعمى حرج ولا على الأعرج حرج ولا على المريض حرج, that Allah has not placed further difficulty on those that are disabled, highlighting the fact that those that have disability or disabilities are viewed differently in Islam as far as responsibility is concerned. Now, as some of you know that, alhamdulillah, I was given the chance to travel to Palestine 2 weeks ago, and being that close to Gaza, what's happening over there, it really makes you think of the amount of man-made calamity that has taken place over there, and the injured being in the thousands, 100,000 at this point, and it makes you wonder what would go through the mind of a person who has lost a limb, or they lived their life with comfort and with dignity, and then they became disabled. How would they continue to function? This is something that, as the human mind is concerned, is, especially for a man, it's something difficult to bear. We go back 1400 years ago, Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam and the Sahaba were fighting against an enemy. And from among the ranks of the believers, there was a person who fought at the forefront. This hadith comes in the Sahih of Imam Bukhari and the Sahih of Imam Muslim. Now, Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam saw that this person was fighting, and everyone else saw that this person was fighting at the forefront of the Muslim army. The hadith mentions قاتل قتالا شديدا. He's fought very bravely, very courageously at the forefront. Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, إنه من أهل النار. He is a person who's going to the hellfire. The Sahaba, some of them, hadith mentions, كاد أن يكون في ريبة. They were أن يرتاب. They were close to falling in doubt that how is it that Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam is saying that this man who was fighting so valiantly in the forefront of the Muslim army, he's going to be a person who is from the people of the hellfire. Anyways, so a Sahabi said, I'm going to go and tail this person and see what happens. He saw that this person was injured. فَاسْتَعْجَلَ الْمَوْتِ. He was injured and he was not able to imagine a life of living with disability, so he committed suicide. Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said this person is going to be from the fire, from the dwellers of hell, specifically because of this reason. Later on, it became apparent that he was a munafiq, he was a hypocrite. He had fought among the ranks of the Muslims because the last battle that had took place, which was Uhud, he stayed back, and the Muslim woman told him, why were you a coward? Why did you not fight? So he was a hypocrite, but he fought, point being that for him, he was not able to imagine a life worth living if he had a disability. Now, that's just one man. On the flip side, you had Muslims, Ibn Maktum, Amr bin Jamuh, radiallahu anhuma, both Sahaba, who, with their disability, Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam told them, you were exempt from participating in Badr. This is Amr bin Jamuh, radiallahu anhu. Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam told him he had a severe limp, a'raj, person who's limping. He had a severe limp. Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam told him, you do not need to participate in the Battle of Uhud because you are disabled. You are exempt from the general recruitment that is taking place among the Muslim, able-bodied soldiers. The Sahabi said, no, I do want to fight and I do want to attain martyrdom. And he attained martyrdom in that battle, leaving behind a legacy of courage and inclusion. He was included and he chose to go forward and take up the call, and he received that highest rank of martyrdom. We speak about disabilities and we speak about the mindset that we're supposed to have. All of us know someone or the other who has a disability, or some of us, for some, to some extent, might have some sicknesses or illness. But for the most part, Muslims living in Edmonton, living in Alberta, even if you are ill, you are sick, you have some condition, you can get treatment for that. You can make sure that your basic needs are met. You have Aish and you have these different welfare programs. So your basic needs are met. You can function. You can live your day-to-day life. You can have an in-home nurse to look after. You can have the social workers and whatnot. There is that infrastructure in place. You look at, so the notes mention specifically two places around the world right now that don't have that same luxury of having people care for them when they're disabled. You look at Gaza and you look at Sudan. Specifically, we'll focus on Gaza. Look at Gaza, where 100,000 people are injured, and many of them from fragments of bombs or some, look, different things that take place where they're amputated, their limbs are amputated. With all of that in mind, it becomes that much more challenging for the Muslim who apparently lived most of his life in the worship of Allah, and he or she is faced with these severe calamities of your child is gone, you yourself, your right arm that you use to work, to be a, it's a man centric mindset that you are fully bodied, you are able to work. You lose that ability to work, your ego feels attacked, and your sense of self-worth is diminished. You feel you are not able to be in a position where you can care for your family. You feel you're not able to provide. And as a man, as a husband, as a father, that's one of the most difficult things to come to terms with. Now imagine in Gaza, where you have an entire population of 2.3 million besieged, work is minimal, everyone's basically living hand to mouth, and then you have this segment of society that is disabled. How do they function? How do they view what they're going through? And to what extent do they still have hope and trust in Allah's divine plan in the grand scheme of things? That makes you think. Now, the word that you will hear many times from those that are in that side of the world is Samidin. Samidin means we're holding firm. They know the odds are stacked against them, but كم من فئة قليلة غلبت فئة كثيرة بإذن الله, looking at that ayah of a smaller group of people overcoming a larger group of people, and the belief in the concept that Allah does as He wills, and فعل الحكيم لا يخلو عن الحكمة, there's divine wisdom in everything. When you understand all of that, then you can look at the iman of those people and take inspiration that even though they're in this difficulty, they do not question why Allah is doing this to us. They accept rada bil qada, and they say, we will hold firm with our faith in Allah Azza wa Jal, because hasbunallahu wa ni'mal wakil, He is the greatest and He is the one that takes charge of all affairs. This is speaking specifically about Gaza. You and I sitting over here, what can we do for Gaza? What can we do for those that are suffering from disabilities in those countries? We can help financially and we can make dua for them. These are the two greatest things you can do. Now, coming closer to home, in Edmonton, you have people that are disabled among our community. Yesterday, I received a call from a chaplain in the Stollery Children's Hospital. So she told me that there's a Muslim couple who are expecting and they're 27 weeks in. And this Muslim couple, they had 2 failed pregnancies, and this is the third child. This is the third attempt for them to become parents. So the chaplain had told me that the doctors have said that the child that will be born will have, there are high chances that they will have 2 terminal sicknesses or illnesses, or 2 birth defects that would spell out basically a life where that child will not be able to live a wholesome, healthy life. So she said the parents want to know what's the stance of Islam on terminating pregnancies. Now, this is a hot topic. We're in pro-life Alberta, as we know it. So, but as Muslims, we are all pro-life. Once a fetus passes the first trimester, Islamically, that child is considered a living being. Islam is pro-life for a child in a womb or a child outside of that womb. Okay. So, anyways, so the chaplain asked me that what is Islam's stance on this. I asked her, did you already get an opinion? She said yes. The couple, they reached out to a religious council in Saudi Arabia and they received a response that it is not permitted to abort a child. So I said, okay, so why are you reaching out to me? She said, I'd like a second opinion from somebody in Edmonton. I said, no problem. We can give you that second opinion. When you look at the Islamic teachings of the ayah, يَهَبُ لِمَن يَشَاءُ إِنَاثًا وَيَهَبُ لِمَن يَشَاءُ الذُّكُورَ. I just saw a brother right now, and I remembered that his son passed away, Allah yarhamuhu, a few weeks ago. It really makes you understand this ayah. Allah gives as a gift. Yahabu. Yahabu, the mudari, the present tense verb, comes from hiba, to give as a gift. Allah gives as a gift. Yahabu liman yashau inatha wa yahabu liman yashau dhukur. He gives as a gift, as a atli, as a hadiyah. He gives a gift to a parent of a child. Now that gift, now for this specific couple, 2 times they were not able to receive this gift, and the third time, 27 weeks in, this is what they discover: that the child will be born and will live a life of difficulty because of the health complications that exist. Now the parents are being given this suggestion by the medical staff that you'd rather abort the child so you can maybe try again for a healthier one. But the mindset is supposed to be, Allah is giving this gift to us. For better or for worse, this is a gift, a divine gift of having a child. Being a parent, this is a divine gift. So now, I had given that advice, and then after that she said, okay, I understand this. Can you put it on a letterhead for me, and I will share it with the parents. Islam does not encourage a person to, if your child does not meet your expectation of healthiness, abort him and try again. No. Every single life in Islam is held dear. That's why the ayah mentions that if you kill somebody unjustly, it's as if you've killed all of humanity. And if you've saved a soul, فَكَأَنَّمَا أَحْيَا النَّاسَ جَمِيعًا, you've spared all of humanity. Now going back to domestically within Edmonton, what can we do for those that are disabled? The topic of our khutbah, of our talk. Number 1, what you can do is you can go out of your comfort zone and embrace them. Acknowledge the trauma and the difficulty that they are going through. Whatever disability that they may have, you will find people that will have obvious physical disabilities, and then you will find people that have internal disabilities that they will not disclose to you. After the first Jumu'ah, we had somebody come up and he's speaking to me. So he said that he had brain trauma. That's something that you can't really notice at first glance. But he told me that that trauma made me sharper in my skills than what I was before. That is their struggle for them to come to terms with and have belief in Allah's divine plan. For us, as able-bodied, healthy people, what are we supposed to do for those that are suffering from disabilities? Number 1, embrace them. Go out of your comfort zone, embrace them and make them feel comfortable, make them feel appreciated. Understand that they're going through internal struggles regularly of our faith, belief in Allah, and why am I going through this? Why did Allah make me, go through this difficulty? They're going through that internal struggle that makes it that much more worse when we become judgmental or give them that look of how are they like this. Looking back at the person who he was at the forefront and he was fighting, but he could not imagine a life worth living in disability, so he committed suicide. As Muslims, life is worth living, whether a person is completely healthy or a person is sick. A Muslim looks at the fact that the life that he has is a gift. So first thing is to embrace. Second thing that we do is obviously to put your money where your mouth is and to try and contribute to those causes and those avenues that look out for the disabled. And the third thing is, for all of us that are somewhat healthy, have an appreciation for the amana that Allah has given you, which is our bodies. We eat, we dress, we sleep, and sometimes we go beyond and do ifrat and tafrit. We go beyond and we do not look after our bodies. The hadith that we mentioned in the beginning, نِعْمَتَانِ مَغْبُونٌ فِيهِمَا كَثِيرٌ مِنَ النَّاسِ, 2 great bounties that most people take for granted, الصِّحَّةُ وَالْفَرَاغُ, good health and spare time. We take good health for granted. You think about it yourselves. You'll only think about how healthy you were when you get sick, or when you need to go to Shoppers Drug Mart and get medication, or Allah protect us all, you get admitted to the hospital and then you wonder about the good times that you had where you were healthy and you were physically mobile. We ask Allah Azza wa Jal to grant all of us tawfiq to make the most out of our health, and we ask Allah to grant afiyah and shifa to all those that are sick, and those that have disabilities, we ask Allah to grant them strength in their iman, and to grant them the understanding that everything works with the divine command of Allah Azza wa Jal and the divine plan. And all those that are in Gaza and in other parts of the Muslim land that are going through difficulty, we ask Allah to grant them strength. Those that are fighting for the cause of Allah and the cause of the deen, whether it's in Halab or it's in Gaza or anywhere else in the world, those that are on the straight path, we ask Allah to grant them victory and to grant their enemies defeat in a way that it completely eradicates them from the face of this earth if hidayah is not destined for them. Ameen. Wa akhiru da'wana alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen.
Assalamu alaikum. Just a couple of announcements. We have a weekly program every Sunday, tafsir, and followed by a breakfast every Sunday after Fajr. And we do this for the community so that we know each other and so on. We had a few weeks, somebody didn't come, we didn't see him for 2 days, then we keep asking, and we went to visit him, and he was so happy. This is the value of getting together sometimes. Jazakumullah khairan for your continued support of our food bank. You have helped 800 plus people just in the last month. And we want to continue this amazing work in the coming months as well. For a list of needed items and donation locations, please refer to the food bank on the door of the masjid. ICNA has started a new youth program. It's called NeighborNet, which has been running bi-weekly every other Friday for the past 2 months. The next event will be on tonight at 6 p.m. here in Al-Falah Masjid. This event is catering for junior high and high school students to provide them an opportunity to hang out, learn, and grow in a safe and fun space. This event is aimed to provide personal, professional, and spiritual development for the youth. I met a youth who is coming here for Quran memorization. He's 16 years old. And I was amazing because mostly kids give in and they leave the masjid after 13. This kid continued and he was really good. And I started talking to him and he said, "Uncle, don't praise me." I said, "Why?" He said, "I'm somebody else here in the masjid. I'm struggling outside." A person coming to the masjid is struggling outside. Imagine those who don't come to the masjid. So I urge everyone, if you have this kind of age, junior high and high school students, please bring them here. And guess what? It's for free. We are doing this for the community because it teaches them so much and they will make friends with Muslims rather than non-Muslims. And this is, now we have only 12 to 15. When we started this, we expected to be more. But where are the kids? So please, if you have kids at this age, please join the neighbors net. JRJ Masjid is here to collect funds for their center, and they are doing a good job. Please help them as you go out. Lastly, please continue supporting Al-Falah Center that we can provide high-quality services to fulfill the important spiritual and social need of the community. Lastly, the khutbah was for Gaza. We have a slot in the donation box, and there is in the machine as well. Please, let's not forget our brothers in Gaza. Let's remember them. It doesn't matter how much you give. Just thinking about them, give them hope. May Allah make us from those who do good deeds, In-Sha Allah, and may Allah reward us with Jannat al-Firdaus. Ameen. Jazakumullah. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله.
الحمد لله القائل إنما المؤمنون إخوة، فنحمده حمدا كثيرا ونشكره شكرا جميلا، ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، ونشهد أن سيدنا مولانا محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. أما بعد، فيا أيها الناس، أوصيكم ونفسي بتقوى الله، فقد فاز المتقون. ويقول الله عز وجل: ليس على الأعمى حرج ولا على الأعرج حرج ولا على المريض حرج. وقال النبي عليه الصلاة والسلام: نعمتان مغبون فيهما كثير من الناس، الصحة والفراغ، أو كما قال عليه الصلاة والسلام. والله سبحانه وتعالى يقول: وبقوله يهتدي المهتدون. وإذا قرئ القرآن فاستمعوا له وأنصتوا لعلكم ترحمون. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. وتعاونوا على البر والتقوى. هذا وأحثكم على طاعة الله وطاعة رسوله، ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد رشد، ومن يعص الله ورسوله فقد خسر. وأستغفر الله لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين فاستغفروه إنه هو الغفور الرحيم. الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونؤمن به ونتوكل عليه، ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فلا مضل له، ومن يضلله فلا هادي له. ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، ونشهد أن سيدنا مولانا محمدا عبده ورسوله. قال الله تعالى: إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي، يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. اللهم صل على محمد عبدك ورسولك، وصل على المؤمنين والمؤمنات والمسلمين والمسلمات، وبارك على محمد وأزواجه وذريته. اللهم ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. اللهم أيد الإسلام وأنصاره، وأذل الشرك وأشراره. اللهم أعز الإسلام والمسلمين. اللهم انصر إخواننا المستضعفين في كل مكان يا رب العالمين. اللهم احفظ الحرمين الشريفين. اللهم حرر القدس الشريف من قبض المحتلين. عباد الله رحمكم الله، إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى، وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي، يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون. واذكروا الله تعالى يذكركم، وادعوه يستجب لكم، ولذكر الله تعالى أكبر، والله يعلم ما تصنعون. Please straighten the sufuf and move forward.
الله أكبر الله أكبر. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله، أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح، قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة. الله أكبر الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله.
استقيموا واعتدلوا تراصوا. الله أكبر. سبحان الله. الحمد لله رب العالمين، الرحمن الرحيم، مالك يوم الدين. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم، صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم،
غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. لإلاف قريش إيلافهم رحلة الشتاء والصيف فليعبدوا رب هذا البيت الذي أطعمهم من جوع وآمنهم من خوف. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. بسم الله. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. قل أعوذ برب الفلق من شر ما خلق ومن شر غاسق إذا وقب ومن شر النفاثات في العقد ومن شر حاسد إذا حسد. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر.